streaming. Here we go. Alrighty. And we are back in business. Let's edit some photos together. So let me turn off my phone. Don't need that right now. So today I'm going to edit some photos that I did last year with Stella. And she's a dancer in Utah. And it's a studio session, as you can see. Let me show you the whole thing here. Whoops. Let's go down here. So there's quite a few photos. And if you've seen my previous lives, so there's always one part I skip. So the part that I skip is when I come back from a photo session. I usually come back with 500, 1,000 photos. I don't know. It depends on the sessional length, but quite a few photos, right? And so I import them into Lightroom. And then I go through the photos and pick the best poses and the photos that are worth editing. And what I do is I narrow it down basically. So like I don't want to edit all the photos. And that part is pretty boring because I'm just click, 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 forward, backward, which one is good from a dance point of view, usually, and from a lighting and from the moment and all that. And I've done all of that already. So we're not doing the boring part, we're just doing the editing part. So what I've done here, I loaded in only the photos that we are going to edit. And I can explain the setup a little bit when we get into the editing of like how I set up the light and what the studio is like and all of that. But let's just get started. I'll just show you real quick. How many photos do we have? We have, how much is it? 125 photos. All right, cool. That's probably more than I can edit today. So please be patient. But we can do a two-part. I'm gonna probably do an hour, a little bit more, and then I'm gonna, you know, maybe I'll do another live tomorrow. By the way, if you have any questions, want to know something about what I'm doing and anything like that, feel free to ask. Like I'm just editing and like I'm having fun sharing everything that I know about editing. By the way, I'm using Lightroom, which is Adobe. Lightroom is made to edit photos, especially raw photos. So it's super efficient. It's super like it doesn't create a lot of extra hardware, hard drive space. So it doesn't actually change the photos when you edit them. It just saves instructions, and that's a much better way to do it, because like if you edit in Photoshop and you save it, then each time the file gets bigger and bigger, especially if you make a lot of layers and stuff like that. I have met Stella at oh, okay. That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, Stella is an active dancer. She's actually really good. At the last year's Dance Awards in Vegas, she came in third, which is pretty darn amazing because there's I don't know how many kids are in that competition, but it's well over 1,000. So it depends a little bit on the age and the stuff like that and categories, but no, she's really good. She's also a really good ballroom dancer. So salsa, I'm not familiar with that, so I'm not really good at that. At New York City Dance Alliance, is that what it stands for? Yeah, but I'm familiar with that. Yeah, that's cool. Do you remember what city it was? Did you meet her this year or was it last year? Cool. So let me start by explaining a little bit what I do when I edit. So the very first thing I do is I do the crop. So you see the whole photo is a little wider, and that's usually what I do when I do at 24/7. Oh, okay, and at 24/7. Very cool. Very cool. Are you in the same like category, same age? Dallas this year? Oh, very cool. Next time you see her, say hi from David. I haven't seen her in a while. So yeah. It's always fun to work with her. And her mom is super cool too. Are you dancing in the same like age bracket? Anyways, let's go back to them. Okay. So the first thing I do, I crop it And usually what I do is I shoot a little wider, and so I shoot handheld. I don't shoot from a tripod. And so what happens, and sometimes the camera's a little crooked, and I just make sure that the horizon, we call it the horizon line, even though it isn't a horizon, but it's level basically. Oh, you do stand in the same category. That's cool. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. If you have any fun stories about you dancing together, let us know. I'm always happy. So, in this case, what I've done to do the lighting, I had two pretty soft lights from her left and her right, trying to fit it here in the frame. Like basically to her left and to her right, you know. It's called the sandwich light or core light sometimes, right? And then behind her in the corners, if you think about like if that was a room, the bend, yes, the bend. Hi. By the way, guys, let me know where you are in the world, because I have people from all over the world in their lives. It's always fun. Anyway, so where was I? Lighting, yes. So two soft lights from the right and left. This is the main light, and then in the corners, if you think about that, we're in a room, and then the back two corners, kind of like from that direction, is two lights that give. It's called an edge light or a rim light. And we'll see it a little more strong in a moment. It basically, let me zoom in a little bit on her face. It basically, excuse me, creates a little highlight here in her hair and in the edges. That's why it's called an edge light. And like here, things like that. So, what do I need to do to edit? So the first thing I do is to make sure it's cropped. The second thing I do usually is like look for distractions, things that are like I need to clone out or remove basically. This time I was shooting in a studio. Let me just double check the sound is good. Here we go. Yes, sounds good. All right. So I was shooting in a studio. Idaho? Or what does that mean? So here I was shooting in a studio. There's not a lot of distractions. Obviously, this is just it was a white studio. By the way, I don't like shooting in white studios because it's just the light, wherever I set, whatever I do for setting up the light, because everything is white, you get this bounce light from everywhere and it makes it very soft. Hi, Gilberto. Gilberto, where are you from? You got a little crown. You're number 2. That's cool. I don't know how the crowns work. What is if I click on it? What does it tell me? Oops. Okay, top fans. Here we go. You're one of my top fans. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm not sure what it means. Anyway, so if I shoot in a white studio like this one and I set up a lot of lights, you have a lot of bounce light. So sometimes it's hard to create enough contrast. Everything is just the light is very soft because you get bounce light from everywhere. But in this case, it actually worked out nice. So one of the first things you want to do is create like a neutral background, the white balance, the colors. So you can click on you can pick up the little eyedropper. So basically you can click on an area that's white and then the software knows what is considered a neutral color, right? I think in this case it's not quite right, and here's why. Because some of the lights were set a little warmer and some of the lights were set a little bit cooler in terms of color temperature. So one's a little like orange and the other one's a little blue, okay? And so what happens is that it fools the camera. I think you can see it a little bit here. Like see here in the back it's blue and here it's a little warmer. So I'm gonna go use the eyedropper here because right here where she's standing, that is where the main light is. And I think that actually looks pretty good. Let me check the skin tones here. Oh, bye. Have fun. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, let me explain real quick how I do like skin colors and get the kind. Good morning, David. Well, it's morning here in Oregon. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, true. Oregon. You're just getting up, right? Or maybe 8 o'clock or something like that. So the way I do colors is first I'm trying to find, you know, like a white area. That's the easiest one with the eyedropper. But usually I don't have that, especially when I shoot. Um, Hi, Ellen. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. Her name's Stella. She's a dancer. So the first I do is like the eyedropper. Sometimes I don't have that because I'm shooting outside. Nothing is white. So what I do next, I try to adjust it kind of by hand. Usually here, up here, the color temperature is white balance. There's temperature and then there's tint. There's two sliders to kind of get your colors into the color space and right. So another good way to get the colors right is if the color's a little bit off, let's say in a green field or on a flower or whatever, it's like, yeah, okay, nobody will notice it. But if the skin color doesn't look natural and correct, basically, you're gonna have trouble. It's gonna look weird if the skin color is even a little bit off. So I find that to be a good method. And here, I want you to look up here. See where this histogram, it's called a histogram, where you see like this graph with the colors. And then I want you to watch right here. Let me see if I can make this here. Here we go, here. Once I move the mouse over here, you see three values. You know Paisley that you just had a photo shoot with? Yes, what about Paisley? Great, so just after 10 a.m. Awesome, that's cool. You're, by the way, you're my #1 fan, it says here. You got the crown #1. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for everybody for stopping by the way. If you're not chatting, that's all cool. Some watch on their TV on the side and you can't really comment. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I just wanted to say you do amazing work keeping the models original. Some photographers do a good job, then mess up the skin tones and shadows and touch up. Oh, thank you so much, Firefrost. I appreciate it. And that's really important to me. I try to get it like natural in a sense that it's believable and not like, yeah, I'm trying to get it more realistic rather than like a glamour version of it. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it more real. And so yeah, actually that's a good point. So let me go back to this. Like look here, down here under the histogram. So I'm moving the mouse over her forehead, right where the skin is, and now you see three values here. It's roughly 80, 70, 60. That's a perfect ratio. She looks really strong. Yes, she is. She is. So that means red, green, and blue have the ratio of about 80%, 70%, 60%. So it's like a 10% kind of step down, right? 80, 70, 60, roughly. That is the perfect ratio. And it's funny because it works on any type of skin tone, whether it's white or black people, doesn't matter. It's just basically the color is the same, it's just a lower shade, right? So I found if I can show you here, if I can go down with the exposure, right? That ratio is still about the same. So now it's 60, 50, 40, roughly. You know, it depends on where my mouse is. It moves a little bit. But see what I mean? Like, so it's always like this triple ratio of like 10 to 8 difference. Anyway, I guess I'm over explaining it, but you get the point. I'm trying to make it look realistic and the skin tones look good, and this is the best method that I found. The crown is my top commenter on the live. Oh, okay, very cool. Oh well, nice. Okay, I appreciate it. Either way. So I learned something. Yeah, I'm not really good at the whole live thing. I'm just good at editing, hopefully. Well, you guys be the judge. Anyway, so I got my colors right. So at first I'm getting the crop, getting this everything figured out. Then I do the remove stuff. There's nothing to remove here because it's in the studio. There's nothing distracting and everything, right? Then I get the base color right to make sure that the skin colors look good and the base color is good. And then I go into like a little more advanced editing. Actually, I'm kind of liking this one. This is pretty good. What I can do a mask. I'll show you real quick, like the background. And Lightroom does it automatically. What it does, it's basically looking at the photo and figuring out, okay, what is the main subject and what is the background? What is everything else, right? And it does it pretty good. I call this BG for background because we're going to create more masks, so this is easier to help. Hello there, Stella. Hey, John. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's watching. I posted it on my Instagram. I don't think she has a YouTube. I don't know. I'm actually not 100% sure, but I know she has an Instagram. I posted it there and tagged her, so she might stop by. If you're stopping by, Stella, please say hi. Anyway, so now we have the background, right? And now I can make adjustments just on the background. Let's say I'm bringing the exposure down. You can see what happens. Everything gets darker except her, right? So we create like a little more natural, like contrast, I would say, as if I put less light on the surrounding in just on her. You can do it all the way to this. I don't think that looks realistic. It just looks fake. So you have to be very careful about when you work with masks. You can very quickly make it look like very intense but not realistic because you're changing things to one thing but not the other. But that's usually not how reality works. If you change the light in the scene, it would affect everything a little bit at least. And here you can make these sharp distinctive edits. Anyway, so I kind of like it a little bit bluer. Darker. I was actually thinking about making it a little bluer. How about this? So we're gonna create another background, another mask with the background, and this time I'm gonna subtract something. I'm gonna say only behind her. So basically what I've done now is I created a background mask and then subtracted the bottom part of it, right? So with this gradient, by using the what's it called? Behind the intersect feature. So now I have a mask just for what is ever behind her. And then I'm going to make that a little bluer. How about that? So I'm going to shift the color just on that, slightly blue. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Now I feel like it's a little too dark. So let's bring this one back a little bit. I kind of like the contrast between the bluer background and like the warmer colors of her, like skin tones. Wonderful Stella and gorgeous hair, pretty young. Yeah, she's got like, we'll see it in other photos. Her hair is just amazing. The first session I've done with her was 2 years or 3 years ago, and she never cut her hair in her life. And I think she was 11 or 12. I forgot how old she was back then. And then in this one, she finally cut the tips a little bit. But we'll see another photo where we can see her hair. You really captured these amazing athletes doing unbelievable superhuman acrobats in slow motion and create a hypnotic surreal appreciation for life and a beauty Olympians. Thank you so much, Joe Rodriguez. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm trying, they as you say, they're very talented and they can do a lot of things and they work hard for it. It's a lot of training and stretching and it's not easy to be this good, right? It's not just given. They work on that. And often it's just like, you can't really appreciate it because it happens so fast. So I really love to capture it in both photos and in videos, especially in slow motion, because jumps are like very quick, right? And in slow motion, you can really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks. I really try. That's kind of like my motivation and doing all of this. Does that also work for video? Can you edit transition to the motion? This in transition to the motion. So video editing, Firefrost. Thanks for the question. That's a good thing. You can't like you can do all kinds of masks here, right? Like you can say find a person and then from the person just select the eyes or just the hair or just the clothes, right? Or just the skin. And there is no tool in video that can do that, right? So I can do masks in video, but it's much harder. It takes way more time, right? Because video is, as you know, it's at least 30 frames per second. So whatever you do to video, not only you have to do 30 times for every second, so like say I have a 10-second video, it's 300 frames I have to edit. But then also, like, say I make a mask, right, for the background, and now she's moving, and now I have to make the mask a little different for the next frame, and so on, right? But not only that, I have to make sure that the quality of the mask really follows her motion. If it's just a little bit off from frame to frame, it looks like flickering around the edges. It looks really bad. So it's a lot harder to do it in video. I can do a lot more in on a photo because it's just one frame. But once things start moving, it's so much harder. Like for instance, like if I have something in the background, I can easily Photoshop it out with a remove tool. In video, oh, that's a lot of work. I mean, I can do it to a degree, but dang, it's hard. So yeah, that's why I still love photos. You can do a little more like the detailed editing. So cool. What do I want to do with this? I wanted to get it a little more contrast, I think. That's good. And then the other thing we're going to do is create a mask from the bottom down here and make this darker. So like the bottom is just dark because really there's nothing to see. It's kind of like a little bit of a rule. Everything that's dark in a photo, the eye doesn't kind of like go there because it's like we don't really look for it. It's just like something that's not interesting. And something that's bright, the eye automatically goes to. So you always want to have like things that are not that interesting in a photo. If you make that a little darker, that always helps, right? And your main subject should be a little brighter. As a general rule, you can also flip it, but yeah. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's awesome. There's really nothing else I would do on that. That's really good. Let's move on to the next. It's kind of like a similar photo. So this is like typically what I do. Make the model pop out at you. Exactly, Fire Frost, that's exactly it. Like, it's like anything that's dark feels like going back, has less attention. Anything that's bright kind of feels like it's coming at you in a photo. Anyways, so like that's what I often do, especially in a dance session, is like in this one, she did a cool pose. I think that was her idea. It's like, oh, that's cool. But how about you turn your head sideways so we see your profile, right? And so she did that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take everything I've done to this one and copy it over to that one. And the way we do it, we just select, I was a little too fast. We select one photo, we shift select the next one. Then we hit sync. And now I can tell the software which things they should sync. This is all the settings you can adjust. Okay. So we sync everything and bang, our second photo has the exact same edits. I just have to adjust the crop a little bit because usually I move the camera a little bit. So that's good. So now we have basically almost the same shot. But in one, she's looking away, and in one, she's looking at the camera. And I love that. I love, excuse me, I love to have variations because they can pick and choose which one they like best. I think both are really good. I like having like eye contact. That's always a good thing for a photo. But I also love like the way the hair looks and her profile. It's really pretty for that pose. Cool. All right, what else do we have? Here we have a little bit of a back attitude. So I'm going to start by just adjusting my crop again. And you know what I noticed? See at the bottom, like there's like an edge. I don't know what it was. Oh, the white of the background, the studio ended here, and that was like the concrete floors. I'm going to crop it out so it's just like that. All right, how about we start with that? That's pretty good. I like what I did here, so I'm going to try to copy paste it over to this one here. And oh, I accidentally copy pasted the crop from the previous photo. I didn't want that, so let's go back to this. So that's pretty good. That gets us in the right place. No, something you noticed, then they didn't quite transfer well. Like this one here, I need to bring that down a little bit. Shooting a slightly different perspective. Okay, so that's pretty good. I like it. Nice. Yeah, that's a really good one. Love it, love it. In Flames of Sorrow, still in Germany right now. I'm still in Germany. Yes, I'm gonna travel at in 2 weeks, or like less than 2 weeks. I think I'm gonna travel again. But for now, I am still in Germany. Yes, cool. I like it. And we can do it to the next two. I'm not quite sure why I took three or picked three of these. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, she was, I don't know. She was like changed. Oh, yeah. She changed her like orientation a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. There's not a final decision on what is the best photo. That's why I do edit all three of them, and then they get all three, and then they can pick which one they like. By the way, this is actually a good example. I'll show you something here. So if you remember what I said in the beginning, I was putting the lighting on from the left and the right. That was my main light, right? And so what happens, because he has an arm here, this side of the face is a little bit in shadow, and the same here because the hair is a little bit preventing, like blocking the light a little bit on the face. So like here and here, the face is a little dark. I watch the TV, but I have to log in to see the chat. Just wanted to say I appreciate the work you do and find it amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I really appreciate that you like take the time to log in on your whatever PC to chat. I love that. That's cool. Cool. So what I do when this happens, I take a brush. K is the hotkey for that. It lets me brush on the photo. Right now I'm only creating a brush. It doesn't do anything. What I'm doing is I'm creating a mask, right? Basically, a mask meaning it's an area where I can adjust something just in that area. That's what a mask is. Looks great. Do you always crop the feed unlocked instead of, for example, 4:3? Oh, now, now I see what you mean. So questions about the crop and whether I keep a certain aspect ratio. I don't think, no, basically no. I crop whatever looks good, and it's just whatever it is, you know. So I don't try to keep a certain ratio. Back in the old days when it was like print was still a thing, like people ordered prints, you had to kind of stick to the ratio of whatever print was available, because if you print it and it doesn't fit, you lose a little bit because you just that's the only way, right? But now on social media, you can post whatever format you want. If it's too tall, it kind of crops it, or too wide. But other than that, you can crop whatever you want. So yeah, I crop whatever I want. All right, let's go back to this. So real quick, I want to brighten up the areas of the face here that got a little dark because it, you know, they get a little shadow. So I created this mask, and now I'm going to adjust the exposure just for these areas. And ta-da! Look at that. Look at that difference. This is before and this is after. Now the areas of her face that were a little bit dark are brightened up. I think that helps. I really like it. I'm gonna crop the blacks a little bit, a little more contrast here. I like it. Very good. I really like the contrast between the kind of bluish background and then her warmer skin tones, and especially if she's wearing like that pink, which is another warm color. Nice contrast to the blue. That's very good. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. This is kind of like a flexi pose. And we'll start again by doing the crop. By the way, the reason I do the crop in the beginning is this way I eliminate everything from the photo that I know I'm not going to see, so I don't even bother about editing it. Like if there was something in there like this, like, you know, if I don't see it, I don't have to worry about it. So one thing that bothered me a little bit about the studio, and I don't know if you can see it, like see on the ground, there's all these marks from, I don't know, whoever used the studio before me had, I don't know what they did. So they left these marks and it's kind of a little bit distracting. It's not the worst thing, but yeah. Anyways. So, is she watching? I don't know. I tagged her on her social media, but she might be in school or whatever. Like it's morning wherever she lives. So I don't know if she's watching. If you're here, say hi, Stella. I think it gives a nice texture, kind of like marble. Not really, but a little. I know what you mean. Good point. Yeah, it adds. You're right. It actually adds some texture to the ground. If it was just super clean, we wouldn't really have like a sense of where the ground is. It would be just pure white, kind of like the scene in Matrix when they start up with that all white room where there's nothing. Anyways, oh sorry. So yeah, what am I gonna do to this photo? I don't think there's anything I need to like edit, remove kind of thing. Everything looks good. That's the cool thing about working in the studio. There's no distractions. The feet don't get dirty, things like that. That's always a problem outside. So, by the way, that's something like editing feet and making them look like clean again in Photoshop or here in Lightroom. It's kind of challenging because you have to like really edit that. On video, it's just basically impossible because it's just moving. It's really hard. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try, where is my blue light line? Here. So this is a preset I made and I'll show you real quick. It just creates two masks. It creates a background mask, okay, which makes it blue, and then it creates another mask, which is this line, right? I call that blue light. It's basically just a few ramps put together, and you can see what it does. It creates this kind of spotlight / light effect. And if we bring the whole overall thing down a little bit, I think it actually looks really good. So it looks like I'd set a blue spotlight behind her, even though there was no physical light. This is what I shot, right? But you can create that easily. I made a preset for that. So I'm really happy with this. Now, as I said before, when you shoot in a white studio, you have a lot of bounce light. So everything tends to be a little low contrast because of all the bounce light. Gonna call my, subject. I usually try to call my layers, or not layers, my masks to what it is. Because if I go back and re-edit the photo like a month later, I don't know what I did. So this helps. So here I'm gonna use clarity. It's kind of like a, it's a different way to add contrast to something. And I like it. I bring down the blacks a little bit on her. That's good. I feel like she could be a little warmer. Especially on the leg, I feel like she could use a little more contrast. What if I put this over all? And you can see what I'm doing is like a lot of things are just basically just playing with sliders and see how it looks. There's no like correct values. You just punch in and it looks good. You have to, a lot of it is try and error. And especially with photography like this, you know, like here, okay, here the lights very like much the same from shot to shot because I didn't change it much. But outside, the lighting changes all the time. So you have to adjust each photo individually. There's no like hard numbers, and that creates a good photo. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. This looks good. I love how she's like doing like, I mean, she's doing this crazy pose, but she just has a totally relaxed, you know, like face. Like it's just, yeah, that's nothing. That's really cool. Let me copy paste this to the next one because I think I picked 2 out of that. Let's see. Yes. Oh, here she just, oh, here's what okay. That's actually worth explaining real quick. So if you look at this and then this. So when we shot this one, I was like, this is cool. I like the leg over, that attitude leg. That's really cool. But we missed the other leg. So how about you change your whole direction a little bit to the side, and then we created this photo. Now in this one, this leg is a little bit, I kind of like the angle. For the top leg, I like this angle better. But for the whole pose, I like this one better. So, you know, she can decide whichever she wants. It's all good. This is a mask I need to adjust a little bit. This is a gradient that stops the light at the bottom. So you have to adjust that to wherever the bottom is. I think actually here I should do the same bottom. It's a little too high. I mean too low. Okay. Yeah, this is good. I love it. I love it. All right, what else do we have? Oh, her mom helps her adjust her hair. I sometimes snap these moments because they're always fun. I usually don't edit those because it's like, you know. Yeah, it's kind of important when you go in that pose, you really want to see the face and not just have the whole hair just hanging in front of her face. So yeah, we're gonna, that's why I think we took a few photos like before this happened and her face was all like covered by her hair. And so we did this one here. All right, cool. I like it. I really like it. And you know what? I'm gonna take the settings from this photo here. I like this blue line and all the rest I've done, and sync it over. This time we turn crop off. I've already done that. By the way, if I'm going too fast or you have questions about Lightroom and what I'm doing, feel free to ask. Like I'm just gonna go ahead here and do my thing. And I know some things that I do are really just like very quick. So yeah, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to answer questions. So this is good. What do you guys think? I really like it. I really like it. I love the way, again, like she's just so relaxed. Look at that. I mean, like who can do this pose? Just look at that arch here. And like who can do this and like, and then still be like, yeah, okay. Rock star gymnast. Yeah, she's a dancer, but close enough. Close enough. Really love this one. Really love this one. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, it's a pretty pose. I like it. It's a nice one. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the hearts. So we'll start with our crop again. I love your blue highlight and her expression. Yeah, thanks. I think it really works. I think it really works. The blue light, and especially since her skin tones and the stuff she's wearing is all warm colors. Guys, for those who are not familiar in photography or in color theory, is it called theory, color theory, whatever? In photography, we call like blue and magenta and like green. Those are cold colors, and then there's, well, magenta is kind of a mix, and then like yellow, red, orange are warm colors, right? And they always like, they're complementary, you know, which means they're basically the opposite, but they help each other. So if you have a blue background and a warm, like a cold color background and a warm color foreground, that just always looks good, you know. It's kind of like, you know, standard stuff you do in photography. You play with colors like that. And the cool thing about shooting in a studio like this, where the background is basically neutral, I can do that easily by selecting a background and then make that cooler or warmer. All right, what about, we'll do a white studio setting here. So this is all white. So I have a setting, like a preset where I'm picking the background, like when I shoot in a white studio, and desaturate it so it really becomes white. And you know what? I noticed just an error. If you look at the inside here, I'll show you here in the mask. Like Lightroom forgot that there's basically a hole. And just thought that's not part of the background, and here it's part of the subject. That's why the blue peeks through a little bit. But I'm not worried about it. I can fix it by just painting a mask there. I also like the dark red, like really dark wine color as a background. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good too. That's true. Let me see. I was actually planning on making this black and white, so I don't really care about the color spill. And that looks really good. I really love that. Let me do two things. Number one, the corners look a little bit, have a little bit of vignetting. So I'm going to add my vignetting at 200%. This just evens out it's just from the lens, like at the corners it gets a little bit darker, and you can compensate for that. And then distortion, I don't need that, so that's good. The only thing that I notice when I go to black and white versus color, look at the hair. They get, wow, the black and white really details their outfit. Yes, I agree. One thing I noticed, if you look at the top of her hair, and I'm switching back between color and black and white, the black and white, it kind of goes a little bit black. Actually, if I go at a close-up, it looks fine. I was going to bring up the blacks a tiny little bit, the shadows. Just a little bit. Yeah, that's really pretty. I love this one. This is very good. Awesome. Now, I noticed some accidental settings here I don't want on the background. This looks good. Face a little bit less. Cool. Nice. Very good. Great job, Stella. I love that you have been doing these live more often. I really, it's really cool to watch her progress. Thank you so much, Emma P. I really appreciate it. Her eyes. I know, crazy, right? No, I really, the thing is, like, I'd have to do those anyways. I have to edit anyways, so I might as well do lives, right? And then talk to you guys while I do it. Very cool. I like the black and white. We'll keep that black and white. And then the second one, we'll keep that in color. So she has both versions. Let me adjust that a little bit. Yeah, that's really pretty. She's pretty. Let me see if I can... good job, David. Not just Stella. Thank you. And Flames of Sorrow. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. It's just... I feel like, like here, she isn't there. She can't speak for herself. Yeah, I want to give her credit for doing a great job here. She's amazing. She's really amazing. Okay, this little shadow. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I still feel a little bit torn about these lines on the ground. I want to have some texture. I forgot who said it before. Oh, that was you in Flames of Sorrow. Yeah, it adds some texture, but I wish it would be other than the something more interesting than those lines. Cool. All right. I'm happy with this. Oh, one thing I noticed. Sorry, let's go back. See how the blue ends before down here? And it's because this bottom stopper is a little too high, so I'm going to adjust that. That's something these presets can't do. They can't see the photo and like know what I'm needing to adjust. So it's just there, and then I have to adjust it. I like the lines. They're subtle, so they don't take the attention away from her. Yeah, it's just what you do anyways in photography. Sometimes you create like just a soft something in the background. Usually you do a slash or something, or a circle. Yeah, I like it. The cool thing about doing it in post is you can adjust it, right? So I can take this one here and move it a little bit, over, right? So now it's a little bit more on her. The other thing I can do And the thing is, I can do it all in post, right? I can make it a little more like cone shaped, right? So I'm gonna twist this a little bit. So now it starts a little more narrow and then widens out. There's all kinds of things you can do easily. Love that. Cool. All right, let's move on. What do we have? Oh, we have some flexibility poses. Okay. These are almost the same. I think I don't like the hand here. I like it better here. And then here she's pushing up on releve. Pushing up on releve is like a dance term. It means you're pushing up on your tippy toes basically. You go up. That's something you like you want to do in dance a lot. Just makes that a little more dynamic. I don't know. Well, let's start with this one. Let's edit this one here. This is cool. Again, we'll start with a crop. This is really good. And the light makes her pop out more, almost 3D. I know, right? No, I agree. It's just, you know, it's again like it's the contrast between darker background and lighter foreground. And on top of that, we have the blue versus warm colors, which also helps you know, make the foreground pop out a little bit. So those things work together basically. So I really like this. This is pretty cool. I mean, crazy. Think about like how she has to like stretch and still she looks relaxed. What if I do the circle? I have a circle. That's cool too. It's a little too, let me adjust the circle. So here's a circle. I'm going to center it around her and make it an actual circle. I kind of like it. This is too bright overall, and it's a little too blue. How about this? And darker. No, darker. Ooh, how about that? What do you guys think? This is awesome. I love that. So this is before, and this is after. Love it. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I think overall we could do a little more contrast. I like to use clarity rather than the contrast slider. Clarity is more of a, it's basically a sharpened filter with like a very, very large radius. I don't know if that makes any sense. Basically what a sharpened filter does, it looks around, it looks at a pixel and around, like in a circle around that, and does some calculations based on that. And contrast just takes everything, and if you have that filter based around the pixels, it's more localized. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but it's a little more interesting contrast than the overall one. That's why I use that one. Anyways, long story short, a little more of that. Super happy with this. Stella looks amazing as always. Just looking for anything I need to edit, but it looks all good. No, it's great. See you in the next live. Have a nice evening. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Sorry to see you go. All right, now copy paste this to the next one. Yes, we want the masks. Please copy them. All right, that's good. Didn't do the crop yet. So we're going to do the crop now. This is good. Ooh, I love this one. Make it a little taller. That is awesome. Very cool. Again, great job, Stella. You're doing all the work here. Still standing in the camera, behind the camera, clicking the right moment, hopefully. Now, this is really good. I really like this. Let me bring the blacks down a little bit more. Yeah, this works too. Again, like shooting in a white studio, everything is like a little washed out and low contrast. So you kind of have to work a little harder to get that a little more, give a little more punch into that. Well, that's good. Let me look at the other one here. No, here it's good. Oh, this is awesome. Very cool. Let me make sure the circle is... Oh, interesting. Why is the circle so shaped so weird? Huh. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. I want it to be a circle. That I don't understand. You know, my preset has a circle, but I guess depending on the aspect ratio of the photo, it changes the circle. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know everything. By the way, guys, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I know it's late. I shouldn't drink coffee, but I want to. Where do you find all of these gems? Joe Rodriguez. I don't find them. They find me. So I have a pretty good presence on social media, and as a photographer, or I'm kind of known in the dance world. So a lot of dancers know of me or my work at least, right? And so they often reach out and want to book a session. So most of the work I do is people that find me on social media, and then they reach out and then they book a session. So that's most of it, you know. Here and there I find someone and reach out, but for the most part it's the other way around. Cool. All right. So we have a bunch of these. Let me go through those. We don't need to edit all of them. I like this. I like this. I can't pick a favorite. That's why I probably picked all of them. This is good. Like, she probably likes this one better because she's arching more over. It's basically harder to do this pose and this pose. Then she changed her head a little bit. This is more relaxed and more over. This is probably my favorite based on that. Oh, and then I asked her to kind of align her knees, but I actually think this one is cool. Yeah. All right. We're going to start with this, and then I copy paste it to the other ones, and then, you know, ultimately she can pick whichever she wants. Okay. Let's see. Let's create its horizontal crop because we can. Yeah, that's why I shoot very, like, a little wider, so I can crop in a little more. All right, cool. Glad I could catch you live for once. Oh, very cool. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to stop by. I'm trying to do those lives at different times of the day because I know there's always going to be one place in the world where people are just, you know, where it's in the middle of a night, and the other one's just waking up, and other ones are just coming home from work. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know when the best time is, so I still haven't figured it out. But I think I should do a certain day, or at least certain days. What camera do you use? Right now, I'm using mostly Nikon cameras. But honestly, it changes. Like, over the years, I've had Nikon, Sony, Canon, and yeah, those three mostly. And then even earlier, I had an Olympus. And I have a few action cameras as well. So, like, there's always some... like one of these here. I love this for certain things. Anyway, so yeah, you're a popular man. I'm grateful you keep VODs for us. I don't know if I'm popular, but thank you. I appreciate it. I have a decent amount of through social media, I'm kind of known, at least in the dance world. I don't think I'm famous or anything like that, but at least in the dance world, a lot of people know me. So yeah. Okay, cool. I like it. What do you think? We should do the line again. So I create one with a left line. Oh, this is a good one. The left line, actually works really well for this pose. This is too bright. No, wait, this is good. This one is too bright. And then this one is too blue. I'm just adjusting the colors a little bit. It might be hard to see on the live stream because I'm adjusting the subtlety of the colors. but I just don't want to make it like super saturated blue in the background. It looks kind of weird, you know, looks unreal. So look at her being relaxed, just looking back at the camera. Very cool. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I need a little more contrast. Again, it's just because of the whiteness of the studio. Because it's a white studio, everything bounces and gets this low contrast, washed out look. And the best way, well, there's two ways to fix this. Like if you have a scene that's a little bit washed out and you want to edit it, there's two good ways to fix it, at least in Lightroom. You can use a contrast. That's okay. The contrast takes basically the middle of the histogram and spreads it out evenly in both directions. That's okay. But usually I'm pretty happy with the skin tones and the brightness. I don't want to mess with that too much. So the other way is to just take the slider called blacks. It's basically just affecting the left side of the histogram and pull it down. And if you look up here in the histogram while I use that slider, I'm going to do it a little extreme. See, like it leaves the right part, this part, that's where the skin tones are, because they're a little brighter. It leaves that alone for the most part and just pulls the left side down, right? So we're not changing her skin tones too much. We're changing just whatever is a little darker and make it a little more dark, right? So that's one way. Another way, if you have washed out colors like these, is called a dehaze. It's kind of like a localized contrast enhancer. I like it. It's especially good for landscape photos, but you know, I use it here and there for this one as well. And I'm not quite sure. I think it works kind of like similar to, actually, if you look at the histogram while I use it, it does very similar things than this, huh? Interesting. In this case, it does a very similar thing. Yep. Okay, cool. No, I like it. It's good. I'm happy with this. I was thinking about editing this out, but it's part of the costume. It's like, it has little laces or whatever that is. I don't know. But it's good. Happy with this. Hi, Stella. Looking great. Doing great. Awesome. What else do we have? Oh, I wanted to copy paste this to the other one. So I'm going to pick this and then I'm going to select the other ones and do like copy paste the settings basically. And then I can do the crops on these. What if I leave the crop in a vertical for this one? The other one I changed to horizontal, but this pose a little taller, so we'll do this. And we're gonna just no, hold on. I'm gonna guess this one up here. This was the part that stops the light in the background from going all the way into the ground. All right, so this, then this. We'll do the same crop here. Wait, I'm gonna adjust this one here first. It needs to be here. Here we go. Crop. Something like that is good. And this is the one we edited. And this is another one, I like it. How about I'm going to use a 1-to-1 crop, like a perfect square for this one. A little smaller, centering her. Cool. I like it. I like it. Excellent. Yes. I love how she, like, I'm really impressed, like how the dancers are like, they do the hardest stuff, like crazy stuff. I mean, like bending like that, holding your weight in an elbow stand is really hard. And she's been doing this for a while because we took several different versions of that. She was holding it, adjusting it, and she still looks like all relaxed. I love that. It's like crazy. All right, this is really like a flexibility pose about legs or like hip flexibility. And since I mean, first of all, look at her hair. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. So she started facing the camera, which was good, but then there's like this leg coming out behind her. We don't really like, I mean, yeah, you can assume that it's like she's bending it over, but just visually not as impressive. So I changed her a little bit to the side. So now we can see a little bit of a shape here. And I like this better, I think. Because we can see, like you can understand that she's taking her leg behind her and kind of pulling it over. Is there even more? No, that's a different one. So this is the best one out of these. So we edit this one. I think that's the best one anyways. I'm not sure about the other two. Nah. After I've seen this, I think the other ones are not really that cool. Let's go. Do we do the circle or do we do the right or the left? I think I kind of like the circle for this one. It's not bad. Darker, less blue. And wait, circle. Okay, we're gonna center it around her. I think I can stretch it out because she's like a little taller than wider in this pose. Well, this pose is not her. And a little less blue. Cool. I don't want to overdo the effect too much. I feel like subtlety is sometimes better than like full-on effect. We're going to do our little dehaze to get a little more contrast in. And now one thing that I noticed, let me zoom in on her eyes. Oh, she's happy. The eyes are a little dark. I mean, it's just a small thing, but let me see. I have a preset for eyes. Oh yeah, here we go. And just a little bit. Let me show you the difference. It's probably subtle, so I created this one here. It's tiny, but yeah, it helps, I feel like. Cool. So, good. Stay here. This is good. I like it. Fit. Nice. Nice one. Nice one. Again, this is actually super easy to edit this session because it's like studio and she's like, yeah, there's nothing really to fix. That's the thing with outdoor sessions. You just, oh, there's so much to like fix often, like dirty feet and stuff in the background that's distracting, or sometimes the light's a little harsh, things like that. Makes it harder to edit. This one's easier. How many megapixels have this photos? Let me look. I think 45. Let's see, info. Wait, it has 8,256 times 5,500. I think it's around 45 megapixel. That's what the camera is. Cool. So, oh my God, crazy. All right, so I got this twice, and I think I'll tell you what the difference is. In terms of the pose, it's about the same. But in this one, like her face is a little bit, you know, I think her face is better in this one. So we're going to use this one. How about that? We're going to edit this one here. All right, that's cool. Let me see. What do I do with this? Should I make it black and white? I feel like that's almost like, nah, no, not black and white. Hi again. These are some great shots. Thanks, Paul's Photos. Thanks for stopping by. This is cool. What if I just do a dehaze on this one and leave the background? Actually, I'm going to take the background and just make it darker now. Just make more contrast. Here we go. Instead of that blue line, make it like this. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's very cool. And she's smiling. Look at her. She's happy. I mean, I would be screaming if I had to do that pose. Very cool. All right. Here is an interesting one. Okay, and then she was sinking in a little bit more into that pose. Okay, let's see, this or this. I think they're both good. We're gonna edit this one here. Actually, we're gonna edit the previous one. Let me do the crop first, and then we'll copy paste it to the next photo because they're almost the same. Almost the same. So, a little more over. Okay, I like it. How about I'm gonna use the same setting that I did here. I kind of like this one here. Let's do that. Mask. See, that's why I should really give it names. Oh well, forgot about it. There's only one mask. I know what I'm doing. Cool. Oh, I love that. Like, see how much difference it makes to just make the... So all I did is I picked the background, make it darker, and a little bit of dehaze, which is like contrast. That's all I did. The rest is just out of camera. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I don't think I would want to do too much to this. The only thing here I wish, but you know, it's like wishful thinking. I wish he would like bring her head a little bit more under and look at the camera. But that's asking a lot because she's already doing a lot. Arching like that, holding her legs like that. Ooh, sorry. All right, let's crop this one. Oh, now I see something. I'll show you in a second. Hold on, let me finish this crop here. That's very cool. So look at the difference between these. Let me fix the crop here. So in this one, at the bottom, I used the remove brush and created like, and extended the background here. The ground. I love her dancewear, so pretty. Yeah, she's, I think it's, God, I don't know what brand it is from, but yeah, it's a super pretty outfit. I think it's one of her costumes she wear for the competition. Anyways, so here I did the background, the ground. I extended it, and here I left it like the studio is, which, you know, kind of like the white ends here, and then this is just concrete. I think of both versions are cool. I like both. All right, cool. Let's see. Oh, we have some sitting ones here. This is pretty. This is pretty. So I think it's basically the same outfit, just in white instead of purple, right? Let's see. Is it? Yeah, it's almost the same. Well, no, it's slightly different. Anyways. So we'll make a black and white version out of that. That's for sure. We're going to make this black and white. And how about we'll make it a little artsy? So let me see. Black Studio. No. Trying to think how I see say. I don't know if I say your name. Hi. Thanks for stopping by. So I want to make this black and white. So let's start by creating mask. So one for her. Call it subject, sub. And I know I want her a little brighter and a little bit low contrast. I want to make her look a little bit like ethereal. Is that a word? Just like softer. Okay. And then I want to get a little more contrast around her, so we're going to use background. I'll give it a name, BG, that means background. I'm going to make it dark, right? So she stands out nicely. We're not going to overdo it. Okay, we can crop a little bit from the bottom. It's not that interesting, the rest of the shot. So that's pretty good. Now what I want to do is create a little of vignetting. It's down here in effects, and it's basically just creating the effect of like a poor lens. Vignetting is that when you shoot with a camera and the lens kind of renders the corners a little darker than the center, it's just an optic effect. Feather, we want it more. We want this more. It kind of creates a nice little like almost like a frame around her. I like that. And now we have to be careful because she's looking right into the light. This kind of gets a little bit bright. I like everything else in terms of the color and the brightness. Let me bring out the shadows a little bit more. Okay, that's good. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna add less texture. Texture is like super fine detail. If I bring that slider down, it just makes it a little more smooth. You only see that when you look close up on the photo, but I know that's what I want. Okay, and now the only thing that I would love to do here, see how her face is almost a little too bright here. So let's create a mask just for the face. Okay, that didn't work. So here's a face mask. And we're gonna do exposure only. And we're gonna bring it down. No, I'm gonna leave the exposure as is. I'm gonna just bring the highlights down. Let me zoom in so you can see a little better what I'm doing here. So I created a mask just for the face and I bring the highlights down and see what it does. It just subtly prevents it from blowing out. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't want to like do too much, just making sure it's not blown out. This HDR version. High dynamic range. Unfortunately, I mean, this looks really kind of cool, like on my screen. I don't know how it's going to look on your screen. And also, HDR versions only work if you have a device that supports it, which, you know, is still not all too common. Anyways, I really like this. This is pretty beautiful. I really like this. This is beautiful. This is great. Okay, let's copy paste it to the next photo and see how that looks. I might want to do a color version of the next one, but we'll see. By the way, guys, I'm just doing my editing routine here. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I am happy to answer questions. Okay, so she's looking the other way. Oh, this is pretty. I think the vignetting is a little too much here. It's like the way it gets dark around the edges. That's too much. A little bit is okay, but like this is none. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. What do you guys think? Vignetting. This is good. Looks all good. Let me see her face. Looks perfect. Not really anything to do. Maybe here a little bit of cleanup. Very pretty. You zoom out again. Crop is a little off, right? This is better. Make it a little more horizontal. I said it before. Stella's amazing. Thank you, Tom. She's really good. And the thing about dancers that I love about working with dancers is that they are very much aware how they look, right, to the other person, because they're training in front of a mirror and they're training to be on stage in front of an audience. So they train to be seen, basically, right? So they really work well with photographers because as a photographer, you often pose your model so it looks good to the camera. Sometimes it doesn't feel right because you're like, why am I looking this way? But on camera, it looks good, right? So, and that's why I love working with dancers. They understand that. So if I tell her like, look a little more profile, she understands, oh, I have to do this because the camera is looking that way, right? So yeah, she's really good at that. Like she understands, you know, camera space and angles and all of that. And she's also a very good dancer. If you want to look her up, she is on Instagram and there's a lot of videos on YouTube of her dancing as well. I'm going to put in a description when I post this video like later. I don't want to look it up right now and like put in the wrong link or whatever. And Stella, if you're watching this later, you're just amazing as always. Cool. Now let's make this in the color version. Do I want a circle or I want to do this. Okay. But less blue, less brightness. This is good. Don't you guys agree? This is good. A little better crop here could be like this. Yeah, this is good. This is cool. I think she could be create a subject mask and make her a touch warmer colors. Wow, very cool. All right, I'm happy with this. This looks good. I know it's a little harsh. Well, not harsh, but like I'm pushing the contrast between blue and the warm colors on her a little bit, but I still like it. Maybe take this away a little bit and a touch darker. Here we go. Cool. I like it. Very good. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Oh, she's done one of her crazy flexi poses. Those are sometimes hard to shoot because like they can do like a lot of dancers can do. They're very flexible and they can do crazy poses, but making it look good on camera, like because their body's bent extremely or their legs doing crazy stuff. You want to make it look pretty, so sometimes it's kind of hard to shoot it and make it look good. So we're going to attempt this here. I'm going to take the settings from this photo and copy paste it to this using the, wait, let me use all the masks here. Merge. Oh yeah, that's good. I really like this one. That's very cool. Very pretty. I just need to adjust the bottom one here. It's a little too low. This is better. This is good, yeah. Again, great job, Stella. Let's copy paste it to the next and see if that works as well. Oh, wow. This is crazy. This is one of those. Ooh. Sometimes lucky accidents happen. So I was going to crop it like this, right? Actually, let me go step by step. This is kind of cool. I like this. So this basically a backwards grand plie, but then she's leaning to the side. It's kind of cool. I like it. Let's copy paste it to the next one. But we'll do a different crop. First of all, I'm gonna bottom. Why is this down here? Gee, belongs here. Yeah, Lightroom is a little odd when you copy paste settings from one photo to the other. Sometimes the masks end up in like completely different. Like here, this one's odd, like completely shifted here. Right? This a little more narrow and up here. I don't know. Her hair is a rare attribute that really complements the uniqueness of these. Thank you so much. Yeah, her hair is amazing. Especially like just in these, like it's almost like down to the bottom in this one. So what I wanted to do here is actually do a crop, like on purpose, like slant it, like really angle it. That's kind of cool. Looks dynamic. Or should I do the other way? Let me see. Ooh, I like this one actually. That is very cool. Now I'm gonna make it the same here. I like that angled crop. What do you think? That's something cool. I gotta post some of those. Very cool. Great job, Stella. Keep saying that. I know. All right, that's good. Okay, let's skip these. They're not that interesting. I kind of like this pose here. Not every pose has to be a super flexible, crazy one. Sometimes I really like simple, just showing good lines. God, look at her hair. Isn't that cool? I want to do a black and white and a color one. We're going to do this one in black and white. And I'm going to take the settings from this photo here and paste it down here. By the way, if you guys will come later, so I'm using Lightroom. In Lightroom, you can do some edits and then you can copy paste it to the next photo. And this is really helpful and makes it so much faster because like anything you've done, the way Lightroom does it, it basically remembers every step that you've done, every edit, every brush stroke, whatever I do, right? It just memorizes that. And then I can copy paste all of that to the next photo. And that makes it so much faster to edit. Oh, wow. I love this. This is so cool. Now I really love it. This is awesome. So I'm gonna be like, cool idea showing this. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just editing anyway, so I just go live and show you the process. And I'm happy to answer questions if you have. So I really like it. This is really cool. I like the contrast and all of that. Very cool. Now, two things. Number one, her face is a little darker than the lower part of her body. Like, I don't know why. It's just the way I set the light. So one way to fix it is I'm going to create a mask for her, right? So Lightroom picks only her. And then I'm going to intersect it with a gradient. Gradient is just like start here and there and kind of do a smooth transition. So now by combining these two masks, I actually created a mask that just picks her upper body. And I'm going to bring the brightness up a little bit and blacks down. And I'll show you the difference. See, oh, it's kind of hard to see. It just evens out the exposure throughout her body. I'm going to call this upper just so I know what it is. All right, let me do a fit. Fit. Here we go. Cool. Now you guys can see it. I really like this. This is good. Now, one little thing that I noticed because I think I'm fine. It's fine. I like it. I like it. Good. Let's make a color version on this one. I'm going to take the settings from... Which one? What is she doing? What's her pose again? Let's take the settings from this one here. And I can just do copy. Let's say copy. And then I go down to the photo I want to edit, which was this one. And now I can say paste, and it will paste all the settings from that other photo. And bang, look at that. Everything that we've done to the other photo will show up here too. I feel like the circle is a little too large, so I'm going to try to make that circle a little smaller. Yes, a little too large. Like this is better. And then this one has a too much blue and it's still too bright. How about this? And last but not least, I'm going to create a mask for her. Cool idea. I'm going to call that subject. Make it a little warmer. Excellent, excellent. All right. Nice. Beautiful, Stella. Beautiful. Let's see. Background. Oh, I inverted that. Subtract. Linear gradient. Let's see. No, that was a mistake. No, never mind. Don't mind me. This is good. This is good. Sometimes she has a serious look. That's awesome. Very cool. Love it. That's good. Okay, what else? We have a few bendy ones, more bendy ones. Trying to find one more that's a little different that we edit because I'm gonna. Hello, my friend. Hey there. Remember you. Sick. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I want to do something a little bit different because we've done a lot of like standing and ground poses. How about we do this jump here? And then we're almost at 1.5 hours. So I'm going to do, this is going to be my last one, at least for today. I'm going to pick up tomorrow maybe on, or on Wednesday. No, when, tomorrow's Wednesday, Thursday maybe. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know when I'm going to do the next one. But I want to continue this because there's still, as you can see, there's still a lot of photos that we can edit. And but let's do this one here. Okay, cool. And we're gonna start from scratch. How about this? So let me do the White Studios preset here. Okay. So the White Studio preset creates a bunch of masks and make everything like neutral and white. Only mistake here is this one has too much of that. Okay. Call that Power Town. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I don't like the color on her. I really don't like it. Let me see if I can grab a better color on her. No. It's a little too warm now. How about that? Interesting. What did I do? What did I do here? It's a little brighter. I don't know. I've used a preset and I don't know what it does. So I'm trying to figure out what my preset actually did. All right, let me check the colors here. 56, 47, 35. Actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Okay. I'm good with this. So, subject. It has a little bit too much of that. Yeah. So that's good. I'm making fine adjustments that are probably hard to see for you guys because sometimes it's hard to see those subtle color changes on the live stream. That's why I'm trying to explain things as well. So I like it, but we're going to do a little bit of a remove here on these streaks on the ground. Don't like them. Just trying to get rid of them here. Oop, that wasn't very good. Does that actually work? Yeah. I don't mind having a little texture on the ground, but you can tell it was just people dragging something over the floor and created these marks. Oh well, good enough. It's nobody's going to look at the floor, right? Cool. Oh, a little bit brighter. The only thing I don't like, it's a little bright at the bottom. So how about this? I'm going to create a little mask here. Someone's messaging me here. And bring that brightness down a touch. How about this? And lower the contrast. And lower this. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Cool. Did you get, how did you get so high in the air? How did she get so high in the air? She can jump that high. Literally, she can. Like, she's amazing. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's pretty crazy. Like, look at these here. She can jump. She can jump. Yeah. I mean, look at that. That's like, it's crazy. And she can bring her legs like in a full split. Wow, she's really flying there. Yeah, she is. Yeah, and we've done a few other jumps. I might do the other edits like in another live because we're at 1.5 hours and I feel like it's getting a little bit long. So yeah, we're gonna end up with this one here. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm going live again, finishing this session. Like here, there's a lot more photos that we're gonna go through. And I'm going to finish that in the next one. But thanks so much for hanging out with me. And I'll see you again I'll see you again soon.